Hey everyone! So all of us have dreams and aspirations that we like to work on, but we find ourselves not actually dedicating the time and effort and energy required to actually follow through with them. So these are some tips that could help you get started on your project and see it come into fruition. Let's go! Back when I just started my journey in art school, I used to have a classmate that would come into class every day with his stack of manuscript paper. So manuscript paper is like the paper that you use for manga. And when I saw that, I actually felt it was inspiring because I've never actually thought you could actually create your own manga, your own anime. So that was something that I was like, you can actually do that. I didn't know you could do that. I started drawing every single night, just thinking about what stories I could create, and it got so exciting. Just the thought of creating my own story and having people read it and enjoy just sends shivers down my spine. Like, I didn't even know that that was possible when I watched such shows on the internet. I would spend an hour every night, no matter how tired I was, just coming out with ideas and just simply letting my imagination run wild. And that was back in art school about a decade ago. And subsequently, as I entered university and subsequently as I am now working, I just find myself not being able to commit to projects like this. I would have this tendency to start new projects left and right and actually never really follow through with any of them. Aside from projects, even things such as completing a video game, I found myself being unable to actually follow through with it and actually completing it. Like, one of the main games I actually never finished was Breath of the Wild, and I actually bought the game back in 2018, so it's actually been 7 years and I've yet to actually defeat Ganon. And another thing that I actually enjoy doing is actually watching shows and watching movies, and I found myself not actually following through with any of them. I see my watch list actually getting longer and longer. I found myself in a state of potential creation, but never completion. So these are some of the reasons of why I actually never followed through to complete any of the things that I've highlighted so far. And if these are some of the reasons behind why you're unable to complete your projects as well, I hope this video helps you. And the first reason would be procrastination out of fear. So what do I mean by that? For bigger projects such as creating my own YouTube channel and starting a manga story, it was something that I felt was a really big project. And just thinking about it I just felt very paralyzed, in the sense whereby just because of the fact that I actually knew the steps and the amount of time and energy required to actually follow through with it. And just thinking about it just stopped me in my tracks. In a sense whereby all of us have limited amount of time in a day to work on what we want to do after deducting the time that you spend on work, on school, and other important commitments that you have. And just the amount of time I have left over, it just made me feel like, do I actually have the time and energy to actually follow through with any of these projects? And the main question would be, what makes me think that any of my projects could succeed? What makes me think that the content that I put out would be good enough for people to want to come back for more? I ended up overwhelming myself, and I just found myself in a state whereby I'm paralyzed and I cannot start on what I want to do. And the truth of the matter is that doing YouTube, one of the biggest projects that I wanted to start on, it was something that I actually wanted to do more than a decade ago. I just felt that I was holding myself back due to the fact that I was really paralyzed by fear and a lot of other things that I'm overwhelming myself with. So when I found myself being paralyzed by fear to work on all these big projects that I really aspire to do, I found myself doing the second thing, which is prioritizing other matters. I wouldn't call any of these activities that I'm highlighting next to be unimportant, but I would just say that I ended up over-prioritizing them. And what I should have been doing is that I should have scheduled my time accordingly to make time for both my projects and these activities. So these activities include hanging out with friends, spending time with family. By filling out my schedule with other activities, I found myself being preoccupied with other things and not actually working on projects that I want to work on. And I ended up delaying it for like years to come. And the next thing that I would do is I would constantly tell myself that, hey, there will always be a next time. I would constantly tell myself that, hey, we could always work on this in the future and you don't have to be worried, time is always on your side. But truth to be told is that I've been wanting to start my own YouTube channel for over a decade, and this is me now after a decade starting it. And if I had listened to myself to just let time pass and just keep assuring myself that there'll always be a next time, who knows when I'll be starting this. Like, maybe I'm like twice my age. Most of the projects that I've been wanting to do has been delayed for about a decade, and this is because of me telling myself that, hey, don't worry, there'll always be a next time. And who knows when the next time will come. So moving forward, these are some of the steps that I've been taking myself. They have been helping me so far, and I hope that these can help you as well. And truth of the matter is that it's not going to be easy. You yourself have to be accountable for your own aspirations and your own goals. And no one else can ever be there telling you to actually do it. So you have to do it. You have to just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. It's been so long. One of the biggest things I realized is that the projects that I highlighted so far and these things that you want to work on as well, these are things that we inherently want to work on it on our own. It doesn't positively or negatively impact anyone else. Only you can hold yourself accountable for your dreams and your successes. So you have to get started. These are projects that brings me joy and fulfillment. So these are things that I have to hold myself accountable for and actually follow through with. The biggest point would be, this is my life, these are my goals, and this is your life, and these are your goals. No one else's. We have to take accountability for our own goals and aspirations. So just do it! So these are some of the tips that I can offer in order for you to reach your goals as well. So the first one would be focus on a few, not a lot. Personally, I have created a list of things I want to work on. Oh my god. Ooh. And I've actually highlighted the things that I want to work on this year. Truth be told is that there are so many things that I want to work on. By having this list of things that you need to work on and focusing and highlighting on things that you can actually do now will help you reach a point where you are actually able to actually complete all of them. Slowly but surely. So the next thing is to focus and actually acknowledge small wins. Because small wins will eventually lead to big wins. So if we don't acknowledge all these small wins and constantly find yourself beating yourself over on like, why am I not there yet? Why am I not? You will actually find yourself being unable to reach that point. The main thing is to focus on the small wins and not be overwhelmed by the big picture. Because we all want to paint this big painting, this big canvas, but we are so overwhelmed by it that we don't actually start. I came across another content creators video talking about the concept where we should focus on internal factors that we can control as opposed to external factors that are not within our control. So internal factors are factors such as what I'm doing right now, which is creating a video every single week, as opposed to focusing on external factors such as reaching 1,000 subscribers, because external factors are not within your control. Whether or not you're able to reach that milestone is not within your control as well. Internal factors such as creating a video every week is something that is definitely within your control. And the thing about internal factors is that you have to make them sustainable. Because if you find yourself being overwhelmed by big things, you just end up not starting at all. And to keep the process sustainable and to focus on small wins is definitely a way to get yourself to the big wins that we're all striving for. And the last tip would be to actually make time for the things that you want to work on. Say no to procrastination and just do it today. As I highlighted previously, I will often push aside things that I want to work on and replace the time with things that I still find meaningful, but it doesn't add value to the projects I want to work on and the goals and the aspirations that I want to pursue. So a good way to actually overcome this issue is to actually come up with a routine that you could stick to, as compared to like creating spontaneous moments of like, hey, I want to work on it today. Working on these projects shouldn't be spontaneous. It should be something that is calculated and implemented into your schedule and to your routine. Even if you were to take out, let's say, half an hour in a day just to work on the projects that you want to work on, I think that is a win in my book, and that's a win in your book as well. And if our schedule ever gets disrupted, which is completely understandable, we need to hold ourselves accountable in the sense whereby if let's say we can't do it today because we have other commitments, we need to put that chunk back into another day to actually make up for it. Making up for it is also making up to yourself, because this ultimately is a project that you want to work on. So my question back to you is, what are some of the projects that you wish to work on and are working on currently? Because I would like to hear from you as well. So hopefully this video helps, even if it's just a little, because these are some of the tips and some of the steps that I am taking myself personally, and I do see improvement in it. So I really hope this helps you as well. And if you enjoyed the content that I'm creating, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Fading out. Woo!